Is Gotrek any good in patch 5.0? Now yes, of course he's good, perhaps GOAT, but that's the format for my titles. Now he has a full skill tree to dive into, so here, separate from Felix, I'll get into all the nitty-gritty without making an hour-long video. Recruited by quest battle, and I don't see upkeep listed here. Gotrek is now a hero only, and comes in base form with a mighty and formidable 5,902 hit points base, 0 armor of course, 15% missile resistance, 35% spell resistance to resist fireball and spirit leech sniping, leadership 100 and unbreakable, speed 42, which is really fast for wait, don't put me in the book! Melee attack starts at 70 and is magical attack. Attack interval of 4, medium splash target size, and maximum target's damage of 7, which is of course very strong. Melee defense starts at 50, weapon strength starts at 470, split between base damage 120 and armor piercing 350, with a bonus versus large of 35. Charge bonus is 65 and mass is 1500. As a Slayer, weapon strength reductions are ineffective. He has charge defense versus large, but not charge reflection. And a permanent feature is that he hits harder and he gets a chance to recover HP when really low in health. Just don't rely on that in the quest battle. As an embedded hero, Gotrek's accumulated combat wisdom provides training, granting a percentage increase to the experience gained by units. That's nice, and you don't actually have to sink any pips into it. It can just be a passive benefit without maintenance. On the map, Gotrek actually provides boost income if for some reason you keep him in friendly territory rather than aggrieving your foes. As an agent, why you would have him as an agent is kind of beyond me. He can damage walls, assassinate, and block army. All good and legitimate things. Specialist reduces the cost of these actions. First, let's go over the yellow combat line because some things are unusual enough with the factions Gotrek can aid. I should go over this now. Blade Master adds plus 5 melee attack right away. Devastating Charge requires investing 3 pips to get to plus 30. Hard to hit is normal and that's plus 12 melee defense at 3 pips. Stubborn Defense adds up to 10% physical resistance at 3 pips, and that's notable. Deadly Blade is normal, 3 pips for plus 12 melee attack, and Gotrek already began strong. Foe Seeker is the usual speed increase and fatigue eraser. Wound Maker adds up to plus 20% weapon strength, and that's really important to Gotrek's function. Scarred Veteran adds up to 15% hit points. Relentless adds up to 15% speed. Blade Shield adds up to plus 12 more melee defense, so with all this invested, Gotrek is really hard to damage in melee. Deadly Onslaught makes your charge bonus even juicier and adds 25% to overall melee damage for its duration, so if you took Devastating Charge, you want this, and the reverse is also true. For his top line, Rune of Grimnir is the usual 10% missile resistance boost. Getting Stuck In adds 5% speed, plus 5 melee defense, and adds Strider, which mainly has the effect of making shallow water irrelevant to him, since forests weren't a problem to begin with. Death Blow grants 20% melee bonus when under 20% health at rank 1. This is quickly, as in at rank 5, replaced by Determined Death Blow, so when under 20% health he gets plus 30% melee damage and plus 10 melee attack. This in turn is supplanted at rank 10 with Extremely Daring Death Blow, triggering at 25% or less health, granting 50% melee damage, plus 10 melee attack, and 15% physical resistance. Ancestral Grudge for 1 pip, available at rank 10, adds plus 8% weapon strength globally, and grants plus 15% more weapon strength when bashing greenskins particularly. Hi Grimgore! Now, let's go into the pure awesomeness for his second row skills, because these all unlock at rank 5 and basically let you customize your army with a wide variety of amazing buffs. Some of this applies to Gotrek himself. Skaven Slayer gives plus 15% ambush bonus and grants leadership plus 15 to all units in the hero's army during subterranean intercept battles. If aiding dwarfs, I see nothing here implying it's only when you intercept others. Let me know your experiences. Moreover, Gotrek gains Slippery, plus 25% speed and plus 24 melee defense for 25 seconds active ability, usually used as a panic button for witch hunters and the like. Demon Slayer grants spell resistance 15% army-wide, minus 2 corruption per end turn for local province, and plus 10 armor for the entire army when fighting Norska or any ipso facto chaos faction. Beast Slayer provides plus 10% campaign movement range to the army, gives Gotrek Vanguard deployment, which is incredible, and grants Woodsman to the entire army when fighting Beastmen specifically. Orc Slayer grants plus 7 melee defense to the entire army when fighting greenskins only, inflicts plus 25% reinforcement time on the enemy when fighting anybody, so great for fighting multiple stacks, and leadership plus 10 army-wide when fighting greenskins only. Elf Slayer grants Gotrek 20% missile block chance, period. Grants 10% missile resistance to the entire army when fighting any elves, high, dark, or wood, and gives your side plus 10% range when fighting the elves because why not? Finally, Zombie Slayer reduces attrition from vampiric territory corruption by 15%, grants Gotrek physical resistance 10% straight up, and gives weapon strength plus 10% to the entire army when fighting vampire counts, vampire coasts, and even tomb kings. Before pausing too long for breath, let me bring up the Rune Axe of Gotrek, offering melee attack plus 5 permanently, magical attack, plus 10 to armor-piercing damage, a 36-second, 120-second cooldown active ability granting Gotrek plus 50% armor-piercing damage, and grants the Dampen Contact effect, which 1. Removes magical attack from whatever he smacks, making the victim unable to overcome physical resistance, and 2. Inflicts minus 20% spell resistance, which begs for a combo from a friendly spellcaster. If nothing else, then from a Spirit Leech. Elspeth must love having Gotrek in her armies, huh? Anyway, this is a lot. Gotrek not only becomes an absolute beast in combat on his own, with that bonus versus large making him a true slayer of beasts, great and not as great alike. But what's changed is how incredibly broad and powerful his buffs to the army can be. I mean, you'll only get maximum benefits against particular factions, but hey, fighting Vlad? Check off Zombie Slayer. Fighting a massive Norsca invasion? Kurgan wrecking your rice fields? Kugath pathogens, ruining your alchemical experiments? Pick Demon Slayer. Grimgore? Orc Slayer. Time to settle grudges with Tyrion? Elf Slayer. It's very difficult to find a situation where Gotrek isn't helping, and it varies from some help to, oh my god, this is insane. So that's... Wait, there was a third line? We're not done? At rank 12, you can select the start of the third line, Fate of Grimnir, granting an extra plus 10 versus large, and the active ability Gotrek's Doom. 22-second augment, 120-second cooldown, just like before, adding plus 40 damage resistance, and plus 40 melee defense for the duration, making Gotrek the proverbial worst slayer of all time, because good luck killing him now, Vlad. Treasure Hunter grants plus 15% magic item drop chance, and plus 15% post-battle loot. See? Always useful. On the offensive, grants plus 4 melee attack for your entire army when attacking the enemy, which is probably most of the time. Hardened Adventurer grants plus 10% hit points, and wound recovery time minus 2. Why do you need this? Because Throt had a simple solution to my France army running around the edge of his turf in hotfix 5.0.1. He had Gotrek wounded by a filthy brat assassin, so this comes up. Finally, Unwavering makes Gotrek cause fear. Why just fear? Guys, you should be shaking your hooves. Anyway, it also gives Gotrek perfect vigor. Guys, you should be shaking in your claws now. Really? Now, as for how you use Gotrek, there will be multiple schools of thought on this. At first, you won't have Gotrek's Doom unlocked, so his survivability will be more questionable. I think ideally you want to hide him in a group of either defensible infantry or anti-large infantry depending on which faction recruited him. Fighting a Mammoth in the middle of an Eldred's Guard unit should go very poorly for the Mammoth. Not because Gotrek won't soak up the damage if it's directed at him. No, Splash favors hitting the single entity, but because the unit AI won't necessarily target Gotrek full time. Any free hits on a large target will really hurt. If you can get Gotrek into a mage's grill, do it, but basically target large first, mess them up, go after manling-sized targets if nothing else is left within reasonable reach. Gotrek exists to reach out and touch someone. He is anti-hero, anti-lord, anti-monster, but he's also going to die a hellhound's death if you just let him be peppered by missiles without a plan. That's the thing. Even if he gets wounded, you want the enemy to earn it through blood and tears. Make them have to fight tooth and nail, and if the RNG fairy favors you, Gotrek will instantly get 12% of his HP back and keep on fighting. Once he gets perfect vigor, it'll be even more insane. With Gotrek's Doom, you'll be able to use him to 1v1 Vlad or Grimgore for a while, but ideally you want to use that to set up other means for destruction. Leading either one into a firing line will result in a swift end if you're fortunate, and if not, Gotrek will buy you time again. Otherwise, you really want him doing his thing as one of the most consistent, powerful, anti-large counter-hero in the entire game. Perhaps the most. He's that good. So use him. I feel CA did Gotrek justice this time, and I'm looking forward to future videos covering Felix and Ulrika in proper depth. Thank you. Take care and have fun meeting Doom with a smile. And an axe.